So in this video, I want to give you a step-by-step plan that you can use after you've rotted away for the entire day. Because this is something that used to happen to me all the time. I would go to sleep feeling super motivated. I'd have a massive plan for the next day. I'd be like, okay, I'm going to complete that assignment that I've been putting off. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to finally start that business. I'm going to have a super productive day. No more wasting all these days. And then have a massive plan for the future. I'd be so motivated. Then I'd wake up in the morning and I'd somehow revert back to my older self. I'd spend like an hour in the morning scrolling on my phone. Then I'd finally get the motivation to get out of bed. Somehow it would take me 2 hours just to eat one meal. I don't know how. And then suddenly I had to take a shower. Suddenly I had to do laundry. Somehow my screen time was 8 hours after I'd only been awake for like 4 hours. And I would be so tired at that time that I had to take a nap. Even though I did nothing all day, I somehow needed a nap. And then I'd wake up, go on YouTube, I'd mess around, and then I'd reach a point where I'd like wake up and I'd be like, what the hell am I doing? I'm wasting my entire day. I have to study, I've got this assignment to do, I've got to get fit, I got to go to the gym, I got to get rich or whatever. These are my goals. And I would just like throw away my phone, I'd throw it on the bed and I'd be like, fuck this, what do I have to do? And I knew what I had to do, but I couldn't lock in and do it. I'd be so frustrated, and since the entire day was gone, often I would be like, okay bro, the entire day is gone, I'll just start tomorrow, I'll be double productive tomorrow, I'll get everything done. And this cycle would happen so many times a month, I didn't know how to get out of it. And so in this video, I want to tell you how to get out of this situation so it never happens to you again, and what to do when you get in this situation. Because trust me when I say what you're going to learn from this video will seriously change how you approach these situations in the future, and make sure they happen a lot less. Because honestly, this is one of the most frustrating things in the entire world. Because it's like, deep down you want to study, you want to exercise, you want to do some kind of habit, you want to be productive, but somehow you can't do it. It's like there's two parts of your brain that are fighting with each other, and you always go the easy path. You always go to like laying on your bed and doing nothing all day. So how do you handle this? How do you deal with this? Well, I'll tell you the exact techniques to get out of this, the exact step-by-step process. But first, I want to tell you the mindset of how to approach situations like this. And trust me when I tell you, this mindset is the most important part. What I'm going to tell you here will tell you how to stop this from happening to you in the future. And it will completely change your approach to this situation. So you got to listen up to this part. It's very, very important. Basically, I've spent years, I discovered like self-improvement, you could say, like 3 years ago, where I discovered I wanted to improve all aspects of my life, my fitness. I wanted to get into business. I wanted to create an online business and make money. A long time ago, I wanted to improve my study habits and study more. I wanted to do all these, I wanted to stop going on social media. I wanted to do all these things. And so I had this fantasy where every day I'd be productive so many hours of the day. I'd get multiple hours of deep work done. I'd read, I'd like go exercise, do all these things, spend all day outside, socialize, all those things. But I would get frustrated because I could only have days like that, like a couple times a month. Most of the time I would revert back to my old self and I'd mess around. I'd spend all day on YouTube. I'd like lie in bed all day. I'd not be able to move and do anything. And here's the crazy thing that you need to realize. This is actually a part of the process. This is actually completely normal. So first of all, it's been like 3 years that I've been trying to change all my habits and everything. And it's been like 10 years that I've been trying to get straight A's in my school, in my studies. And I still have days where I rot away all day in bed or whatever. And now here's the thing. The days where that happens to me are a lot less than they used to be. It used to be maybe like 25 days a month this would happen to me, where I'd lose the entire morning, I'd lose the entire day. And now this happens to me maybe like 4 times a month, where I'll like lose an entire morning, lose an entire day, and not do what I wanted to do. Now don't get me wrong, I still have days where I like intentionally rest and I intentionally take some time off to recover or whatever. But I'm talking about the days where I know I wanted to do something and I couldn't do it. Somehow I would like rot away and procrastinate all day. These kind of days still happen to me. You have to realize that people think consistency is about like, okay, I've got these goals and I'm gonna work on them every single day, all day. That's not what consistency is. Consistency is simply about reducing the amount of days where you rot away all day and do nothing. Because here's the thing, you've spent your entire life, 30 days a month, rotting away and doing nothing probably, right? Like probably you spend all day on social media, you spend all day playing video games, you spend all day on Netflix, whatever. And probably only recently, like in the last couple months, maybe year or two, have you started to try to change your habits around and try to do more good things with your day. And here's the thing, the brain actually resists change. So because you've spent like 20 years doing those old bad habits, it's gonna take you a long time to actually turn that around and start doing good things all day, things that are aligned to the goals you wanna achieve in your life. Like I said, consistency is just about reducing those days, reducing those mornings, reducing those times where you procrastinate and mess around. Here's the thing, you're probably actually a lot more consistent than you realize. Because maybe a couple months ago, you had 0 days in the month where you were doing all the good habits, like studying or exercising, whatever you want. And maybe now you're at least getting like maybe, 5 or 10 or whatever good days in the month. So you're actually making progress. Because hitting 30 perfect days in a month is very, very unrealistic, especially for your first year. That's the thing, this is what I realized, procrastination is literally a skill. And so for example, let's say serving the ball in tennis, that's a skill, right? You throw the ball up and you serve it and you hit the other side of the court. If you miss that serve and you're practicing and you miss that serve and you get frustrated and you're like, oh bro, I missed the serve, you're not gonna learn from that mistake that you made. What you're meant to do is you're meant to throw the ball, hit it, and then you miss the court and you adjust and you hit it a little bit better so you hit the court next time. You learn from your mistakes. We all know that failure and making mistakes are a part of any learning process. You have to go through tons of mistakes and failures till you learn. Procrastination is exactly the same thing. It's a skill. Basically, procrastination is like some part of your brain that's trying to pull you down. Procrastination is the skill. Beating procrastination is the skill of overcoming that part of your brain. Just like learning how to serve a ball in tennis. You're gonna have failures, you're gonna have mistakes, you're gonna have times where you rot away all morning. You're gonna have times where you rot away all week. And if you get frustrated, then you're not gonna learn the lesson that this situation is trying to teach you. So there's gonna be some kind of reason why you rotted away all day. And if you're not calm about it and you're not learning the mistake, you're not learning the lesson that it's teaching you, then you're gonna just repeat this over and over again. So because also what would happen to me is a lot of the time is I would be super consistent for like multiple weeks. I'd be having like super productive days. I'd have a ton of momentum. And then I'd fall into a rut for like a couple weeks where I'd just completely fall off. This is because new circumstances get revealed to you. Your brain approaches different situations. It's all a part of the process. You're gonna fall through periods where you're consistent. You're gonna fall through periods where you're not consistent. And this is what I've realized after years of doing this. This is all a part of the process. It's gonna take you multiple years till you're like super consistent every single day. Now maybe you're thinking, oh bro, but I have to study, I have to be consistent, you can't mess around. I'm not telling you to purposely mess around and like go on social media or whatever. Because deep down, you already know that you wanna be productive. You already know that you wanna do all these good habits. So it's just a skill of listening to that part of your brain and fighting against the part of your brain that's pulling you down. Because basically it's like a battle between the procrastination part of your brain and the part of your brain that wants you to do better. And so, me telling you this advice is not me telling you to ignore that part of your brain that wants you to do better. It's me telling you that you have to understand that this battle that's going on is a part of the process. And you just have to not get frustrated when you mess up. Okay, now I'm gonna tell you the exact technique, what to do if you're precisely in this situation, how to get out of it, and how to learn from the future. What I'm gonna tell you might seem like mind-blowingly simple. It might seem like almost useless. But trust me when I say this is like the key to getting out of this. The secret to getting out of a day wasted is to do nothing. Literally, just sit on your desk and do nothing. Now you're probably thinking like, oh bro, but I can't do nothing. I've got a test next week. I've got an assignment next week. I've been doing nothing all day. I can't keep doing nothing. I gotta do something. Well, here's the thing. I promise you that you have not been doing nothing all day. Because chances are you are probably on YouTube all day. You were probably playing video games all day. You were probably doing drugs all day. You were probably scrolling on social media all day. You weren't doing nothing all day. In fact, you were doing something. You were doing some kind of bad habit, you could say. What I'm telling you to do is I'm not telling you to do those things. I'm telling you to literally do nothing. Because going from doing those bad habits to doing nothing is progress. And here's the thing. It's much easier to go from doing nothing to doing your homework than it is to go from scrolling on your phone or on Netflix or whatever to studying. It's a much larger jump. First, we need you to go to the halfway point, which is to literally do nothing. This is what I do. If I've realized I've wasted multiple hours in the day and there's nothing I urgently need to do next, I will literally just like put everything away and I'll just sit on my desk and literally just stare at my wall. I'll like have my journal out in front of me, a piece of paper, whatever, to write stuff down. but I'll literally just reset and just look at the wall. Because here's the crazy thing, right? You know exactly what you need to do. You went onto YouTube or whatever, I don't know how you got to this video, but you looked for a video to tell you the answer of what you need to do. But you already know that you have an assignment next week. You already know that you have an exam this week. You already know that you have to go to the gym. You already know what you need to do. You don't need this video to tell you the answer. You know, maybe you're waiting for me to tell you like, oh bro, go do chapter 3 or whatever. But you know what you need to do. So what you need to do is you just need to listen to that part of your brain that's telling you what to do. So the reason you're not realizing what you need to do is because you're just distracting yourself with your phone, with social media, whatever. So if you put that stuff away and you sit on your desk and you just face your wall, I promise you the answer will come to you. When I do this and I sit down, I go like, holy cow, I've been wasting this whole morning. And then I'll start writing. I'll be like, okay, I gotta do this by today. I gotta make these videos by tomorrow. I've gotta do this. And I'll just start planning out my week. I'll start planning out my day. And it'll become very clear what I need to do. Because I promise you, the majority of people watching this video have terrible, terrible attention spans. They probably can't even tolerate boredom for 10 minutes. I promise you, you try to do this, it's gonna be painful. You're gonna wanna leave, you're gonna wanna go distract yourself, but if you can resist those distractions and you can just sit and do nothing, this will take you to the next level, and this will help you reset yourself. Because there's this quote that I really like. It goes something like, all of humanity's problems stem from their inability to sit alone in their room. Something like that. And it's pretty true. Basically, you have a lot of the answers in your head of what you need to do. You just need to like let them come out. So you know what steps you need to do next in your self-improvement journey or your study journey or whatever. You just need to sit down and be bored and let it come out. Because I want to give you this hypothetical situation. Imagine you sat in an empty room with only you and your homework. After like 15 minutes, you would be so bored that you would just start doing your homework. This is basically what it is, but what you're doing is you're putting yourself in a room with your homework, plus social media, plus video games, plus all these things. Of course you're gonna do the easier things. Because what I learned is procrastination happens when you're running away from some kind of negative emotion you have with the work that you're avoiding. What you need to do is you need to just be bored, because boredom is another negative emotion. Another thing you need to realize is the reason your attention span sucks so much is because you simply can't tolerate boredom. If you actually learn to tolerate boredom, your focus will get better, your attention span will get better, your procrastination will go down. Because the reason you can't focus is because you sit down to do your homework and it's painful, you get bored, you start getting like cravings of going and playing video games or going on your phone or something. And because you're getting those cravings, you can't focus. And often you cave in and do those cravings, you go on your phone or whatever. But if you can learn to tolerate boredom and be resistant to these cravings, because what's gonna happen is you're gonna sit down on your desk and you're gonna get cravings to do random shit. If you can just tolerate that and push through, they will go away and you'll start to have cravings to much higher things, like your goals or whatever. I don't know, whatever you want in your life. I can't tell you what you're gonna experience. But at least this is what works for me. This is what works for me. Like, I don't know if this is gonna work for you. Maybe you're gonna sit down and be bored and you're gonna you're gonna realize that you wanna run away from your country or whatever. I don't know what's gonna happen to you, but this works for me. If I need to reset a day that's wasted, I just sit down and I do nothing. And I promise you, if you do that for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, eventually it will become so clear what you need to do and you will like wake up from your sleep. I promise you. I think this is a super important video. I really hope this helped you. And by the way, first link in the description, if you want my very, very close one-on-one help, you want me to help you get your dream grades without studying all day so that you can have time for other things during the day. If you want me to help you very, very closely, keep you accountable, and really work hard with you to help you achieve that, check out the first link in the description. Let's see if we can work together. See you later.